Hello and welcome to another Press X Let's Play. I am Kevin McManus, and today we are looking at another spooky scary. This time, the game of choice is Silent Hill 3, which is probably my favorite horror game of all time. I really love this game to death. It's the one that really got me into the series, and I figured we'd take a little moment to just kind of check out the first areas of the game and talk about it, kind of reminisce and things like that. So let's hop in here. This is the opening cutscene. Or not the opening cutscene, but the menu cutscene. And we're just going to do a new game. Sure. Normal. And we're in. Silent Hill. When you put the riddle mode on hard, they are some of the most complicated, convoluted riddles I have ever seen in any video game ever, including knowledge of Shakespeare, like in-depth knowledge of Shakespeare plays and stuff like that. So we'll put it on normal. So yeah, this was not my first Silent Hill game, but this was the first one that really resonated with me and the one that I liked the most. And I think there's multiple reasons that's the case. So, to tell you kind of a brief history of my experience with Silent Hill, basically I was talking about some horror game that I can't remember on the porch with my brother, and he said, well, have you ever played Silent Hill? Those are really scary. And I was probably like 10 or 11 at this point. And I said, and I was just like, Silent Hill? No, I've never heard of that, and it wasn't much of anything. Then probably a year later, I was in a video rental store, as you do back, 90s kid, 2000s, whatever, and I saw Silent Hill for the PS1 on the shelf there, and I was like, ooh, I gotta get this. So I rented it, and I played it not extensively. I was very scared as a kid. I thought it was terrifying, and but I really, really liked the atmosphere. That was one thing that I did like about it. And then Silent Hill 2 came out, and I rented that a couple times, and I got a little bit further than the first one. And then this one came out, and this was the one that really resonated with me. And I don't know if it's because it's the first one that had a main character that's kind of teenagery, kind of more my attitude, my mindset, or if I just like the environments better, or if it was enough to kind of play it and understand it more. But either way, this is the one that resonated with me. So they are tanky controlled, not completely, but you have to turn and then you hold forward to go forward. So it might take me a little bit of getting used to, especially because I just played Clock Tower the other day. Let's see. You can turn off your flashlight, which I don't think I'd ever want to do. So part of the reason Silent Hill is my favorite horror genre by far, and what I consider to be the best horror genre, especially these early games, is the atmosphere and the camera angles and just the environments are so creepy. I am also worth noting, I am playing this on the PS2. I am not playing the PS3 remasters, though I do have them. I feel like the PS2 is the best place to play, even though the remasters were fine, but they kind of messed with the environment fog, which is kind of weird. You can see there's kind of a fog ambient. It's really noticeable when you're on streets, and it was used to mask the draw distance in the game, and they got rid of it in the HD remasters because, I don't know, it was a limitation of the hardware, but it makes it a lot less scary because you can see what's coming. It's kind of stupid. It looks terrible. That's no rabbit doll, it's a costume. I don't feel like making sure. So this is Robbie. He's kind of probably the second most popular Silent Hill character, actually, behind Pyramid Head. And when I used to play this, my niece would watch sometimes. She was real little. She loved horror games and movies, though, at a very young age. And she would call it Bunny Blood. So sometimes I refer to this game as Bunny Blood because that's what she called it, and I thought it was adorable. Let's play Bunny Blood. So this is the monster. I didn't actually figure out how to attack, but instinct worked. You have to hold down the right R2 button to ready your weapon, and then you swing it with the X button. And I think this thing should die soon. Really don't want to die this early on. But you'll see what's going on here. Okay, you know what? Forget you. I don't care. So the screen that I'm playing it on is extremely dark, like way darker than it should be. Makes it a little difficult to see, but I'm gonna do my best. We should be... We're just in the carnival ground. I distinctly remember the mall is an early area. That's where you kind of get introduced to Heather, the main character's personality. So let's explore. There's Robbie dolls all over the place. There is... I guess I'll talk about the movie adaptation of this game. So there's a Silent Hill movie that you can check out if you're, into that kind of stuff. I really, really like it. I think the first Silent Hill movie is the best video game movie there is. I think you kind of need to play the games to understand it. That's the problem with it. It's a great movie for video game fans, but it's not a great movie for just movies. And that was kind of the problem with it. But yeah, I still think it's worth checking out just for the factor of it captured the atmosphere really well. And then the second movie, which was a sequel, was set to get made, and the director that worked on the first one that I liked so much got arrested for vehicular manslaughter, I believe. I hope that's right, and I'm not just saying that because that would be really bad. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and he got taken off the project, and then I think the producer, somebody, stepped up to write it and direct it, or something along those lines, and it's not good. But it's fun to watch, just if you enjoy the atmosphere. But that one is not a good movie. But there was a movie adaptation of this game, incredibly loosely. The only thing I feel like they did well was the outfits, which is not a compliment. Heather looked good. That's about it. So let's head back here. So I can't seem to do anything in here. For some reason I thought that I could, but let's just see what's going on. It hasn't been super long since I've played this game, probably a good year and I don't know, year and a half, so not like incredibly long, but it's been a while, so I don't really know where I'm going, basically. I love those monsters though. I think they're really, really neat. I don't love these dogs. Maybe I am supposed to go this way. There was an arrow pointing this one. So you may be wondering why I'm not dead, because I've gotten hit 15 times. There is a reason for that, but I'll show you how the menu is. So here is the menu of the game that you have your items and everything. It's pretty signature Silent Hill. I think almost every one of the games works this way. And we can just equip a gun. And you can see that my health is flashing ridiculously. I do have... Okay. I might as well just use that. Alright, we're good. Just like that, we're healed. So I was actually pretty close to dying, but I have a machine gun. Okay. Where am I supposed to go? That door is locked. Am I supposed to interact if this door was locked? Did I pass a door? Maybe I passed a door. Let's check. There should be a bunch of monsters out here. Maybe I can... Oh. And you kick them to death. That was something that you always did in Silent Hill games. When you quote-unquote finish off the monster, you always kick them when they're down. A little insult to injury. And it will finish off the monster from getting back up, or whatever it is that they may do when they're down. So these... never played them before. They're basic survival horror. You want to conserve your ammo, like I just didn't. You want to conserve your ammo. You want to conserve your health. You want to make sure that you're not taking too much damage. They're very resource management heavy, but they're exploration games. You're looking around for areas. I believe that's where it came from. I'll check. You're looking around for puzzle pieces to finish puzzles. You're looking around for weapons and ammo, and there's just a small amount of everything scattered throughout the map. And if you can find them all, you're doing well for yourself. Or not find them all, but find a bunch of them. You're going to be doing well, but you do need to conserve your ammo and everything. And it's one of the games that if you die, you go back to your last save. So you need to save early and save often. But you should, just a little pro tip, if you have the space, obviously if you have a PS2, your memory space is very limited. But if you have the space, you might want to make multiple saves just in case you get to a boss or something that you're not able to beat because you don't have enough ammo, and then you're stuck, and that's not what you want. Am I missing something obvious because of the... I thought there was a dog I was supposed to be messing with. There's clearly nothing in here. I just keep coming in here. I think I'm gonna kill this dog. Alright, he was very close to being dead. Alright, now I don't need to worry about that. So, this one was locked. Let's keep on moving. I'm getting used to the controls. That one's locked. The way the camera shifts, and then there was an arrow there, that was the arrow that I saw, pointed to that door, so I should have known that was the correct way, but silly me. Alright, so there's another closer, I believe they're called, but I cannot confirm. Meat bag hands. They actually have little mouths in the tips of their weird hands. Oh jeez. So they're just showing you everything real early in this game. And if you watch the movie, they have an area that's nothing like this for the beginning of their movie, because it is a low-budget movie. So I think I remember there was a... Ooh, don't fall. Don't fall. Okay. So this looks a little more promising. There's another arrow. And here's the stairs. More stairs. Oh, I hate those things. Those are probably my least favorite enemy in this whole game. They kind of start swarming you in later areas in the game. And there's a bunch of them. And we'll try and go in here. I believe it's locked. So, the only correct thing to do is to find the open gate and go out on the train tracks and ignore the sign that said danger zone. So we're just going to walk on these train tracks. This is the loading screen for the game. It's kind of interesting. Kind of like it. So let's walk along these train tracks, because nothing bad can ever happen. They're actually roller coaster tracks, I guess. They're not really train tracks. We are in a carnival area. Just kind of walk. Ooh, doctor. Let's not fall. We wouldn't want to fall. Kind of inch our way. I like just tapping the run button a little bit to get a little bit of speed, but not so much that you're gonna fly off the rails. And then, speaking of flying off the rails, here comes the train, and heather down. Yep. So we hit that load screen again that I like so much. And it was all a dream. So this is the real world. She was having a bad dream. And this is the mall. I believe we're in the burger place in the mall. And this is where you're introduced to a couple of the characters from the game. But Heather is your main character. You kind of get a feel for her personality here. And I very much like her. She is one of my favorite female characters in all of video game history. I have a cool little statue of her in my room. I'm a nerd, I know. It's okay. I've accepted it. So you see her tuck her little amulet into her jacket. I don't know if it's true in this game. Spoiler alert for Silent Hill games. The Happy Burger, that's what it's called. Spoiler alert when, mute it for 10 seconds. I'm just going to say something that's a little spoilery. In a lot of Silent Hill games, you get an item early in the game that you need to use at the very end of the game. And I'm not sure if it's true for this one, but it may have just been that little, item there. Okay. Unspoiler alert. I think that's a neat concept, though. So here you can see her mannerisms are so much different. In the first Silent Hill, you play as Harry Mason, and he's just kind of a father looking for his daughter, so he's got that. And then in the second one, you play as James, and he's looking for his wife. So you're always playing as, this older male character, and it's nice to have a younger teenager. In the next one, you get kind of the 20-year-old, or in his 20s guy that, has his own apartment, and he's doing his thing. And then they move to things like you play as a soldier, which is my least favorite one out of all of them. They did a reboot of the original game where you play as Harry again. They did one where you play as a convict. And they did, I think that's it. They did the top-down one for the Vita that was kind of like Diablo, which was not really a Silent Hill game. I don't really count that. But there's a handful of them, and I'm going to give you my official ranking of the Silent Hill games right now, and it's very controversial. Most Silent Hill fans love Silent Hill 2. I don't love Silent Hill 2. I borderline don't really like Silent Hill 2, and I know that's preposterous for Silent Hill fans. It's a very unpopular opinion, but I would rank them. 3 is my favorite. I have a very controversial ranking for mine. 3 is my favorite, followed by probably 1, followed by Shattered Memories. I really liked that game. Followed by 4, 2, Downpour, Homecoming. And then the Vita one I don't really count because it's a dungeon crawler and it's so different, but it would probably be above Downpour. So here, that's a save point. That's a very, very popular Silent Hill logo, emblem. A lot of people get like tattoos and there's t-shirts and stuff like that of that particular logo. So now we're trying to get away from this detective here. I'm gonna go back here. I feel like on a new game plus so Silent Hill loves having secret weapon, like special weapons, and I feel like that's one of those special weapon areas, but I'm not confident because I actually don't think I've ever gotten one. I always play a new save when I play the game. Similar to Clock Tower 3. I just always play a new save. I never really play the new game plus. I don't really think about it. But you get a bunch of really cool outfits and stuff too. And you get some bizarre ones. There's like a Sailor Moon outfit. You should YouTube that sometime. So I don't really know if I'm going the right way or the wrong way. I'm just kind of going. Showing off the game. But you can see the camera angles that I love so much. They're so awesome. I remember playing this on the PS3 version of the game before pre-patch, because I got it the day it came out and I was playing it. And man, there was frame rate issues like not believe. The frame rate was horrible if there was more than like 2 to 3 monsters in the area, which there was constantly. So obviously we lost all of those items and everything that we had in that dream, and that's a very popular thing to do in video games. Now it's kind of the norm, but still back then it wasn't. You give them a whole bunch of items and you show them all the monsters to get them prepared for what they're going to face later in the game. It's just kind of a look at everything you're gonna get if you keep playing this game. It also makes you feel really powerful and then feel powerless, which obviously for a survival horror game is a very strong, way to make it a little scarier if you feel powerless. Which is another thing about Heather that I really like. She's not trained in combat. She doesn't have the experience, and that makes makes everything feel a little. It makes the clunkiness of the game feel justified and feel intentional. I'm sure it was, but she's not a combat expert, so she's not great with guns and weapons, and that's why she's so finicky when it comes to those things. And it makes perfect sense. So just kind of checking it out. It's a monster. I killed it. So here's a bunch of ammo. I like that she actually looks at things that you can interact with. I'm not confident, but I feel like this was the first time in the series that the character did that. But like I said, not confident that that's true. So we picked up some ammo, we picked up a gun, and let's head back here. Kind of want to go this way now. See what's on here. Okay, so this is the map. So the map is always the first thing you want to find when you're looking, because it allows you to hit the triangle button and bring up the map, and it'll show you what doors are open, what doors are locked, and this whole game is really kind of about checking boxes. In that you want to go in every room that's possible and then find all the items in all those rooms and then find the room that you need all those items for, complete the puzzle, and get to the next area, all while dodging monsters and deciding if it's worth killing the monster or avoiding the monster. So that's kind of if I were to boil Silent Hill down to an elevator pitch, that's kind of the pitch I would use. So let me check something. I hit the wrong button. Select brings up your oh, did it twice. Select brings up your weapons. Yes, the pendant my dad gave me. Yes, so I don't have a flashlight. That's what I was checking. I was gonna try and turn it on, but because it is mighty dark. I should probably turn up the brightness, but I'm probably not going to. I do have a map, which makes it kind of easier. So I can leave. I mean, this is unlocked, so let's just go through here. What we can do. Alright. Let's run for it. It's not always worth killing all the enemies. It's also definitely not worth wasting bullets on enemies that you can avoid. Like, you don't want to get hit, like I just did. You definitely don't want to get hit, but if you can avoid the enemy, then avoid the enemy. So what I can do, I was gonna say I can switch to the knife and kill this thing, but the fact that there is a monster here makes me feel like I'm doing something right. Oh, jeez. The fact that there's two monsters here makes me feel like I'm doing something right. That's a door. And that one's locked too. Okay, so let's get out of here and never come back. Maybe I wasn't doing something right. The controller vibrates when your health is low. That's kind of the indicator. This game doesn't have a HUD. It keeps you in that experience of, you know, not clustering the screen with how many bullets you have and how many this and that. You have to go to the menu to be able to check those things. And since you have to go to the menu to check those things, it keeps the screen cluster-free, which I very much like. So We're going in a little bit of a circle, but there is a whole bunch of doors that I kind of missed through this way. So let's go check them out real quick. And I'm not really going to be able to show you guys another area of the game or anything like that, just because of the nature of how long levels are and how my saves on my memory card are. I save over my saves constantly, so the only saves I have are end game, like complete end game, and I don't want to do something that spoilery, because it's a good game and you should play it. Those things are interesting. So a big part of Silent Hill is it's very psychological. That it's a psychological horror, and all of these monsters represent something about Heather. So you can use your imagination for what that represents. But they all represent something about Heather, either her past, or her current, or her personality, things like that. They're kind of like repressed emotions. So it's really, really interesting to see enemies and kind of talk over and read about what they represent and why they look the way they do, because some of them are really bizarre and really odd and really scary. So here's a key, and we cannot reach it because my arms are not long enough. I feel like I feel like that's the wimpy way to say it, but there's definitely a way you can oh no. There's definitely a way you can reach that if you gave it a little more effort, Heather. Whatever you want. So I don't think this is where I came from. It could be. So this kind of shows you that they are very distracted by blood. I don't think I'm going to mess with him just yet. So we can look on our map. We see that that circle there is where the key was that we're trying to get to. And I think I'm running. No. That one's locked. You kind of just want to try all the doors. Let's see if any of them unlock or anything like that. So we have just a few more. I know where I'm trying to get to, but getting there not as easy as it may seem. Okay. So this is, I believe, the main part of the mall. There's a big meat guy that we can dodge. And we want to go, there's a bookstore. There's a cafe. I would question all this stuff a lot more. Like, where is everybody? Aren't we in a mall? Shouldn't there be people? Are they closed? A lot of the places look closed. But, so we're in the bakery, and the reason we're here is to get a pair of tongs, because Heather was saying that she couldn't reach. So there are no employees around. I wonder where they all went. See, she is questioning it. She read my mind. This is why I like Heather. I relate to her way more than the other characters. So we got the tongs, so let's go ahead and head back. So puzzles can be as simple as that, if you want to even call that a puzzle. It's just kind of a gathering. Or they can be really, really complicated, like a poem that you need to decipher and use switches or keys or whatever to unlock something, or just a straight up riddle is also another common puzzle in the Silent Hill universe. You just get riddles. So there's lots of different types of puzzles. So let's go over here. And similar to Clock Tower 3, if you watched that Let's Play, you go into the menu and you use items. It's pretty much how every horror game did it around this time. So this was on the PS2. There was 3 Silent Hill games on the PS2. 2, 3, and 4 were all Silent Hill games for the PS2. So there was a handful of them. So it says key with tongs. This key was dropped in the storeroom. I used tongs to get it. Oops. So, a key that says my best sellers. So I had to actually go into the menu and examine it. It doesn't spoon feed you what you're supposed to do, and now you see there's monsters all over the place. The better, or the further you make it through these hell worlds, the more stuff there is. And in some of the games, oh, I did forget one. I forgot Silent Hill Origins. There was another one. You play as a truck driver in that one. There was probably people yelling at me. Yeah, Silent Hill Origins. I actually like that one quite a bit. That one is higher than Downpour, and higher than 2. I liked Origins more than 2. So, I also like it because they are standalone games. So you can play any of the Silent Hills, and they're there for you. You don't need to play 1 to play 2. You don't need to play 2 to play 3. There is, however, a consistent lore, and there is a consistent story between a few of the games. This game connects to 1 in a way. Origins connects to 1. So, things like that. Oh, this is the one with the Shakespeare things I was talking about earlier in the game. So, basically, these Shakespeare books fell off the shelf, and you need to replace them back on the shelf, I believe. And the order you place them in is incredibly important. So this should be locked. It's locked, and there should be a keypad. So in order to, you don't know the key number. So the way you get the key number is putting the books on the shelf. The books have numbers on them, and then that's how you unlock the door. And I'll see if I can't figure some of it out. So this is a 1. So let's go ahead and use. And where on the shelf do you want to place it? So let's just kind of throw them all on there and see what they look like. There's obviously a picture of some sort, and that picture is going to be the numbers. So 9. So it looks like, I don't think you put, do you just put them in order? That'd be really boring. I think it would be really boring to put them in order, but I am not playing on the hardest puzzle difficulty, and this is looking like, I was going to say it's looking like it's working, but it doesn't actually look like it's working. So how do you know the order of the numbers? There's an 8, a 9, there's an 8, a 9, a 2, and a 1. So that 1 really gets cut off. So it could, is it 1892? Let's try 1892. I thought there was a clue that tells you what it was. And I could just be overlooking it. It's unlocked. Nope. Okay, so on one of the Silent Hills, there's a Shakespeare puzzle similar, and you need to put them on the shelf or whatever, and type in the way they explain what the code is a little riddle, and for the riddle you need to know like how many people die in that play, and then one of the plays doesn't count, so you have to know the story of the play and read that line and know that that's the story of the play and that one's omitted. And it was just crazy. It blew my mind because I was playing it on hard because I was like, oh, this will be fun, we'll play it on hard, and I got stuck, and I was like, I have to look this up. I have no clue at all what I'm supposed to be doing, and I looked at the puzzle and I just shut it off. I was like, I can't beat this. If they're going to be this difficult, I cannot beat this. It was ridiculous. So this is she's something special in the movie. This is Claudia. So another thing that I love about the Silent Hill games is all of them, the main characters are everybody except, your main character is just a little off, and it creates this uneasy tension of, should I trust them? Are they telling the truth? Are they making everything up? Or are they just crazy? Like, you don't know, because everybody's just so out of it, so weird, and it's just hard to trust anybody. And I like that. It allows for dialogue. It allows for you to make your own interpretations of who's right and who's wrong. Almost everybody in the game is a gray area, and I love that. You know, they're all heroes of their own story. Normal person in a strange world type stories. And I absolutely love that. So, anyway, this seems like a good place to stop. Just showing you the game, showing you what's what. I got stuck at the beginning for longer than I would have liked, but that's okay. So, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is probably my favorite horror game of all time, though it's one that I've played less than the other horror games, which is interesting. But I do really, really love this game. Obviously, it holds up well. I already knew that going in. It wasn't a big surprise. I've played it. Played it a year and a half ago or so, like I said, so I knew it held up well. But I highly recommend picking up this game for the PS2 if you have access to that. If you don't, the PS3 version is okay. It's a little dumbed down, but it's okay. And I do not recommend getting it on Xbox, because at the time, long story short, Microsoft was charging for patches. They didn't want to pay to patch it because of it basically just wouldn't be worth it. They didn't want to pay to patch it, so the game never got patched, so it's just broken as all heck on the Xbox 360, so I do not recommend picking up for the 360. But yeah, so Silent Hill 3, great game. As always, thank you very much for watching. Leave in the comments down below what you think of the Silent Hill series. Go ahead and rank them for me. What is your ranking? If you put 2 on top, I won't be mad. I understand. A lot of people like that game. It's got an awesome ending. But yeah, so go ahead and rank the games down below for me. Go ahead and leave a comment of another horror game you may like me to try and tackle. Maybe I'll play one for the first time that I haven't played before or something like that. That could always be fun. So yeah, go ahead and do that for me. Like, share, subscribe. As always, I'm Kevin McManus. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak with you soon.